Hey, what's up and hello. This is the Chris Nicole bringing you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on what time you are watching this live. Hello, crew. Hope all is well. Make sure you hit the likety like button on the way in. So, we are done with week one of Diddy's trial, okay, his federal trial. And Cassie actually, I believe, was on the stand for 4 days straight, if I'm not mistaken. She had 2 days with the prosecution and she had 2 days with the defense. Now, based on our last conversation about this, I don't think any of us was shocked about the defense as far as how hard they went in. At least I don't know. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know if you were shocked. But we are talking about Diddy, who is probably spending millions of dollars on these attorneys. So wasn't shocked. However, I was shocked by a lot of the stuff that I heard. Okay. And so it gives me the question. I'm about to put a poll up. Can you be the victim and the villain at the same time? Okay. There's no denying that Cassie is a victim. We all saw the video. We all saw the information from the Kid Cudi and the description and the detail of what was going on as far as the relationship is concerned. And this man was willing to give her $20 million. So there is no denying that she's a victim in this. However, is she also a villain? And we're going to have the hard conversation tonight. Is she also a villain? Let's be clear. There were a lot of things exposed. First things first, I already knew that she was with Ryan Leslie before she was with Diddy. Didn't know that she had cheated allegedly on Ryan Leslie with Diddy. Okay? Didn't know that. From my understanding, also, they were saying that she apparently cheated on her current husband with Diddy also. In my opinion, and I'm trying to choose my words wisely because, of course, you're going to have sensitive asses that's going to probably come all up in here, which is why I had to make sure I had a moderator in here just in case it gets a little crazy. I think that Cassie knows and has known since the beginning of time that beauty is currency. She knows she has been a very pretty girl who has used that leverage and pretty much been pulling a Ronnie for a very long time. Ronnie from the Players Club. Use what you got to get what you want. Clearly, she was trying to find that main guy that was going to get her to where she was trying to get as far as her career, as far as her status. Even without the defense, I think a lot of us understood that. And I'm going to speak for myself. At least I understood that because let's be clear, Cassie was not talented. Yeah, I said it. Singing, no. Okay. Literally, I remember when she was on 106 in Park doing that one hit that she did have, she just looked stiff. She looked like she didn't even want to be there. Interesting enough, for whatever reason, she wanted a singing career, but it damn sure didn't look like she wanted a singing career when she was on that stage. She was just trying to find something that would stick. And for her, men being attracted to her was sticking. And men who had money was sticking for her. But she ended up meeting a guy by the name of Diddy who could give her all of her desires financially. And based on what they were saying today and yesterday, all of her desires on a freaky tip too, because they exposed a lot of stuff where I was like, Cassie, whoa. And granted, at this point, it's very obvious what they were trying to put out there. At least it seems like to me, in my opinion, that both of them were addicts. Both of them were DVing each other as if they were on some Ike and Tina Turner shit. That's the way it was trying to come off. So there are probably times that she don't even remember some of those text messages because she was high as a kite. Okay? She was high as hell. She probably don't remember it. But considering the fact that they were able to execute this very well to question and give doubt. That is the only thing when it comes to these attorneys. It's about putting doubt in the juror's mind. And as someone from the outside looking in, it definitely created some doubt here. And not just when it comes to, I'm seeing it all over the internet. Women and men are wondering, was this her plan all along? Now, of course, I don't think she thought I ain't gonna say the A word, the DV and the SA stuff probably wasn't gonna actually be involved in this. But at the same time, did she always have a plan or a motive when it came to Diddy? We got to ask these questions. So I'm going to put an actual poll up here. Can Cassie be the victim and the villain at the same time? And the villain at the same time. Let's see what you guys say about that. I'm going to start this poll right now because we're going to have to really ask that. Yes, make sure you hit the like button on the way in. Hit the like button on the way in. These are difficult conversations we're going to have because let's be clear, a lot of the things that they put out there, one would think, especially one would think who already has an issue with women and may be bitter towards women or whatever the case may be, may look at it as in this was a plot. They put her out there like she was a straight up jealous woman. She even admitted on the stand, if I'm not mistaken, that she was jealous of Kim Porter. Yeah, we don't want to talk about that, huh? She was jealous of Kim Porter. They even talked about how she made a threat to someone, talking about how this is her life and she would allegedly off them, or she hasn't done it, but she'll get someone to do it. Just crazy stuff that you like, not this mild, woman that's sitting here. Like, who are we dealing with here? And it does pull into question, who are we dealing with? Was Cassie just that industry girl who literally took advantage of every situation she could? We have to have that conversation. Now, considering the fact that I am from La La Land, Los Angeles, from here, I have had my fair share of being around industry girls. Okay? Hey, you guys, what's up, my crew? Hope all is well. I have been around my fair share of industry girls, and they are some of the most cunning, manipulative, calculated mofos I have ever met in my life. I'm just gonna keep it real. Okay. They have a plan, they know their game, and they know how to execute it. Because one, a lot of times they have always kind of played that game. They've used their beauty as currency, but they also know that the beauty and the hot pocket can only last for so long. So they have to maintain and get the things that they can in the short period of time that beauty can hold before they're older and the newer girls come up in the world. They have to do what they need to do to secure that bag or bags. Okay. And a lot of times they're in it for the short game so they can eventually play the long game, which means the long game is the money. Okay. So what do I mean by that? Meaning the short game is, oops, I'm pregnant. The short game is, oops, we're in a scandal. And the long game is, I've secured the bag, possibly millions of dollars, where I'll be taken care of for the rest of my life. All right. We're not going to pretend that there are not women out there who are like that. It is what it is. So, what makes us think that Cassie was not one of those girls until she got so deep that she couldn't get out? That's the question. What makes you think that she wasn't one of those girls, but just realized that she was messing with the devil's helper himself, and realized at a certain point it was far too late because, one, she had got pretty addicted to substances, but then also she probably got to the point where maybe she said this lifestyle isn't even worth it because one move, one swift move, one moment, he can completely take me out. That hotel scene that we saw when she was at the elevator, one wrong move, one wrong foot going the other direction, or whatever the case may be, Cassie may not be here today. And I am sure there were probably plenty of different situations that was like that, where at any bad move, her head hitting the table or whatever the case may be, Cassie wouldn't be here. So that's what I want to talk about tonight. At the end of the day, that can you be a villain and a victim? Because while the attorneys are doing their job, there are certain things that we just can't deny that were said that you're like, hold the hell up. You know what I'm saying? She definitely was about that life. She definitely has some very interesting text messages that she was sending back and forth. She seemed like she was coming off like she was the girl who was willing to go to the highest bidder. No tea, no shade, but that's the way it seems. There was no moral or integral, like she didn't have the moral and integrity compass. It doesn't come off that way. And I'm just keeping it 100. Her morals and her integrity was based off of what she can get out of the situation. Now, maybe at a certain point, she did love Diddy, especially because of, and again, girls who completely are mentally possibly don't understand what love is. Okay. Because from my understanding, she doesn't come from the best background. I don't know what her father's situation was, but she doesn't come from the best background. Maybe in her mind, she thought the lavish things that he provided for her was love. Okay. Maybe he did. Maybe she did. Maybe that is the case with her. Or maybe she didn't give a damn. Maybe she didn't give a damn for a very long time and was like, this is what I need to do to elevate my career, even if I have to be the pretty girl on his arms. Did she possibly want more than that eventually? Maybe. A lot of times girls who are and have benefited from pretty privilege their whole entire life, for the life of them, they can't understand why they cannot completely tackle that man down. They feel like that man should want to wife them up, should want to sit up there and leave the other girls behind and just focus on them. They feel that way because they've had that pretty privilege, when they don't realize they're just another notch on the man's belt. They don't necessarily get treated better. They may get more benefits of going through certain doors, but does that mean they get treated better? Did she get treated better than Kim Porter? Hell no. She didn't. And she even admitted that she was apparently jealous of Kim Porter. So, and again, we ain't gonna pretend like the colorism probably came into play on that too. We not gonna deny that. But at the end of the day, Kim Porter and Cassie pretty much got treated the same, except one ended up having babies by him and the other one didn't. Yes, you hear those type of stories. You're absolutely right, Danielle. How many women say they rather cry in a convertible than a Corolla? You have women that will be willing to deal with certain things and certain pain to live a very comfortable life, or to appear that they're living a very comfortable life. So let's get into some of the things that were discussed. First of all, who the hell knew that she sued the Intercontinental Hotel, or she had a settlement with the Intercontinental Hotel for $10 million? Why we didn't hear about that during her civil suit when it came to Diddy? They're just now bringing that out in the defense. Now, we got people who will investigate stuff all day long. Why are we just now finding out that she had a civil suit with the Intercontinental Hotel? Now, apparently, she claims she has not received the money, but the settlement was reached. So, with the 10 million she got from Intercontinental, or she will be getting from them, I'm assuming, and the 20 million, that's $30 million. I would say she and her husband and her kids are set for life. Now, apparently, she was living with her family at the time before these settlements came about. She went from living in a lavish life of luxury to going back to her mama's house. So some are speculating that this was a plan to be able to be set and be comfortable. But again, if you got DV'd the way that we saw on that hotel camera, and that was something that he knew cameras were around and he was willing to do that, as far as I see it, hey, get your money. I didn't know that she was able to sue the Intercontinental Hotel, though, which is making me wonder, did she get that settlement because they didn't expose it, or didn't call? Because I know they call security. I'm trying to figure out exactly how, but she apparently got a settlement for $10 million when it comes to the hotel where she got attacked by Diddy. Yes. Well, Don was there today, Shayla. Don was there today. Don actually testified today, and that's Dawn from Danity Kane. And she says she actually described a scene where Cassie, I guess, was downstairs and making him food, making him eggs, and he just randomly kind of popped up and was like, "Where's my food? And you are no good. You can't make anything," or whatever the case may be. And allegedly, apparently, took the pan with the, I'm saying, like eggs in it, and pretty much DV'd her. So Don mentioned that. Now, I don't know if Don is going to be back. I believe they said she may be back Monday. Aubrey, I don't know if she's coming, but here's the thing, though. I'll say this: Don and Cassie, I don't think were ever friends. I don't think she was ever friends with Aubrey, too. But I am curious on where the hell Lauren London is, because we do know that they were quote unquote friends, apparently BFFs. Now, I know her name has been mentioned in the court, but where is she? Okay. Last time I heard when Diddy's name came across her mouth is when she said he was a huge support for her when Nipsey passed, and was encouraging her that she needed to go to the actual funeral and show how strong she is. And she even implied that that is like her brother. All the pictures that Lauren and Cassie have together, especially with Diddy's hands wrapped around them, and allegedly at certain Diddy events. Where the hell is Lauren London? And see, that's another thing too about these industry chicks. These industry chicks are friends a lot of the times just for the convenience of it all, just to be able to get in certain rooms and in certain doors, not because they're legitimately genuine friends. Where the hell is she? Because it really makes you wonder, what role does she play in this? What did she see? Because rumor has it for a while, they would consider her an industry chick too. Pretty face, pretty girl who was able to get around the right people, to develop some type of acting career. Okay? You know what I'm saying? And she was constantly around Cassie around that time. Constantly. So where's she at? Why is she not even in the courtroom trying to support either side? But I find it interesting that she said Diddy's like her brother. Do y'all really think? Let's talk about it. Do y'all really think Lauren London didn't know any of this stuff going on? Y'all think she's completely oblivious to this? Was she a willing participant? I'm just saying. I know one thing, if somebody's saying that that's my BFF or you my BFF, and I don't see your ass in that courtroom supporting me, even if it's me being pregnant and just going through the emotions as far as the trauma that I went through, or whatever case may be, me being an addict and all of that stuff, yeah, I'm gonna want you to be right there. Lauren somewhere being quiet. Nunu said no. Yeah, well, I think it's people starting to question where Nunu at. I think people started to question because I know I was like, where's she at and what side is she playing in this? But again, when you deal with that industry chick mentality, their loyalty is to themselves. She trying to keep the bags going. You know what I'm saying? And granted, from my understanding, she's gotten apparently plenty of bags since Nipsey has passed. She is doing the whole Puma thing. She was the face for Puma when Nipsey left. We know, you know what I'm saying, Nipsey family is doing franchises after franchises. I'm sure she's getting a bit of that money to take care of that child. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest here. Lauren London has never had an extensive acting career. She was not someone who was constantly acting and seemed like she was completely dedicated to learning the craft. She would sit up there and get jobs here or there, and probably because she was a baby mama with guys who had money that was able to take care of her. So, again, this is why I want to do a late night, because we're going to have a real open conversation. That's why I say, and I want people to be real and honest here. And it looks like it's kind of 50-50 right now. Some people are saying, yes, Cassie can be a victim and a villain at the same time. And some people are saying no. So the question is, for the ones who are saying no, do you think she's one or the other? Do you think she's just pure victim? Or do you think she's a villain? And again, as long as you're respectful, let's have open conversation. Because let me tell you, just hearing some of the testimony, I was like, damn, like, whoo, this is interesting. She definitely got exposed where you was like, now we know the defense was going to make sure they did their due diligence. We know the defense was going to make her look like a monster, just like the prosecution's job is to make Diddy look like a monster. You know what I mean? We know that, but at the same time, two truths can coexist. Cassie could have easily gone into that relationship. She didn't care about Ryan Leslie's feelings when she allegedly cheated on him to get with Diddy, because he had more money and definitely had more power and pull in the industry. And that was another thing too they caught her up in about the Ryan Leslie situation, because I guess she was trying to make it seem like it wasn't that big deal of a relationship, and they called her out and said, ma'am, you had his name tattooed on you. You talking about that relationship wasn't what? His name was on you. Y'all was together. I think they said they was together for like a couple of years before Diddy came into the picture. They chewed her up. Now, she kept her composure, but based on what they're saying, and I'm glad she did because she's pregnant, but they chewed her up. They really chewed her up. I wouldn't say Diddy didn't look like an angel. He didn't look like an angel, but it also didn't make Cassie look like 100% angel either. But I don't personally think that you can get in a relationship with Diddy and be a 100% angel. And even if you were, you ain't gonna be an angel for that long. It doesn't, you can't. You can't. You know what I'm saying? Because in my personal opinion, Diddy has a spiritual vibe on him that I've never liked from the beginning. I've never liked from the beginning. When you're spiritual, when you have a certain discernment, you feel certain energies from people. Diddy has always been that one for me that I'm like, whatever he's selling, I'm not interested. You know, may have did the Harlem Shake a couple of times on his songs, but definitely no one that I ever had a desire to meet, had a desire to work for. He has always given dark vibes. Make sure you guys please hit the likety like button on the way in. Hit the like button. If you don't hit the like button, you are a freaking freak off supporter. Period. You're a freak off supporter. So hit the like button if you're anti freak off, okay? Hit the like button. Hey, JW, she said Diller taught her. Do y'all believe that? I can't say that. Okay, so JW said that Cassie said that Diddy taught her how to sloppy toppy. Of course, colorism is at play, but you know, people act like I talk too much about that. But again, being from here, California, this shit exists. It exists everywhere, but people want to act completely oblivious to it. You're not going to be able to tell me that Cassie knew her pretty privilege consisted of her being racially ambiguous, very, very light skinned, a certain type of hair. Because let's be clear, men who claim that they like natural hair, I'm going there. Men who claim they like natural hair, a lot of them, especially the ones who are colorists, because you know there are people who are colorists, they like curls, not coils or tight curls. They want the freaking 2B, 3A, 3C type of hair. They don't want the 4C hair. Like let's just call it what it is. And the first ones who know that they're privileged is the Cassies and the Laurens. You know why? Because it's especially Black men who have told them their whole entire lives that they're better and more superior. So, okay, so you in Cali too. So you know what it is. And let me tell you something, especially growing up out here, you see it. Especially if you go and live somewhere else and come back, you really see how serious it is out here. And definitely a Cassie and a Lauren are very aware of that. Even at early ages, they're very aware of that. Now, let's be honest here, that doesn't necessarily mean that they have really benefited. You may say they've benefited off of the lifestyle or whatever the case may be, but are they really protected, loved, and cherished based off of what they think their look should give them? Are they? You know what I'm saying? Are they really valued and cherished based off of what they feel they privilege should get them? Because to me, some of the testimony was coming off that Cassie, she said she was jealous, but for the life of her could not understand why Diddy wouldn't choose her and only her. Girl, one, based off of the allegations, he was never going to only choose you when you ain't got all the equipment that he likes. You know what I'm saying? Like, he likes men allegedly too. So you ain't going to be able to compete with that. But furthermore, it's really coming off that he could easily do whatever he wanted with her. And she was willing to do it for a certain amount of time for the lifestyle and thinking that she was going to secure a career. And honestly, when I really think about it, she didn't really secure a career. She secured a career of being Diddy's arm piece. But they always say model and singer we know she did not become a successful singer. And I really don't remember Cassie like in a lot of like print ads and things like that. Like she was no Tyra or no Kimora Lee. You know what I'm saying? So really her career was being Diddy's rag doll. And I hate to say it like that, but that's the way it's coming off, like the rag doll. All this P. Diddy stuff is crazy. He seemed to not get up for her. She was too easy to cheat with him. Men don't respect the long term. And you look, JW, again, this is why I'm saying we're going to have an honest conversation about this, because we're not going to pretend like Diddy didn't see. If she apparently cheated on Ryan Leslie for Diddy, you don't think Diddy saw that and was like, okay, I know what she possibly on. I know what she possibly on. And immediately at that point said that he was going to take advantage as much as he possibly could. Like real talk. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk. She was a willing participant. They are both to blame. Look, that's why I'm saying we're having an open conversation. Yes, I am going to continue to say Cassie, villain. We saw that video. No man should be putting first of all, you shouldn't be putting your hands on anybody, man or woman, but no man should be putting his hands on a woman like that. Point blank, period. Shouldn't be putting his hands on a woman, period. So definitely a villain. I mean, definitely a victim in that sense that he definitely DV'd her. Now, as far as the substance issue is concerned, if you ask me, just based off of what I am hearing as far as that testimony, Cassie may not have mind at all that she was into the party mode. She probably was a party girl at first. She thought it was fun. She thought she was living a lifestyle, and she ended up getting caught up and got addicted. You know what I'm saying? It's very possible that she literally got addicted and just went down a rabbit hole. But in the beginning, she probably thought it was fun. You know what I'm saying? And, being young or whatever the case may be, she's going to the hottest parties. She has one of the biggest moguls right there by her. And then things started happening that she had no control over, including the substance issue. You know what I'm saying? Including the substance. Yeah. And honestly, she may have thought she was next after Kim Porter. But if I'm not mistaken, they talked about the Kim Porter situation, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, okay? They made it seem like that she said her final straw with him was when Kim Porter passed. Did y'all hear that from like different people who was given like back-to-back information about what happened during the testimony? That she said her final straw was when Kim Porter passed, and I guess Diddy said something or said a speech or something like that. And I'm trying to figure out, was your last straw because she was gone and you thought that that you potentially would be next, or it was also given off that something that Diddy said about Kim almost came off like she was annoyed that he said those things about Kim. Y'all let me know if you understand where I'm coming from. There was something in that testimony that apparently when he said the things he said about Kim at whether it was at the funeral or after she passed, she made it seem like that was the final straw. But it's making me wonder, is because you were scared, or was it because you were like, this woman still has a hold over you and I never had that hold over you? Y'all let me know, because I felt like it could have gone either way. But I don't know if she necessarily explained herself, because unfortunately, those who were in the courtroom, they're kind of like slow, like trying to write down the information that they gather. And I'm getting bits and pieces from certain places. But yeah, it definitely seems like he can go one way or the other. He called Kim his soulmate BF. Okay, thank you, Danielle, because I thought that was something that was said. And apparently when that was said, they tried to imply that Cassie said she was done at that point. And I'm like, were you done because he literally said that about Kim, who you admitted you was jealous of? Or that you was like, I feel like he possibly did something to her and I don't want to be next and I'm out. Because apparently she was still around him during that time. She was there for him apparently during that time when Kim Porter passed. So she wasn't officially all the way done with him even then. Allegedly. Why is it hard for me to believe Cassie at all when she says she liked the freak off? And that's another thing, Steve, is that and that's the whole point of putting doubt in the jurors' minds. They have text messages of this woman ready to get it on and was saying some explicit stuff. Now, again, we do know that she had an issue with apparently substances. That has been stated. You know what I mean? That, and they are trying to imply that. Half of the time, did she even know what she was actually saying? And let's be clear. Y'all know I'm big on conspiracies, but y'all also know I'm big on spiritual warfare, good versus evil. One thing about when you're intoxicated and you get high and all of that stuff, you can allow certain energies and certain darkness and spirits to come in you. At the end of the day, you don't know what type of warfare, witchcraft stuff was going on in that moment or in that time with Cassie. You know what I'm saying? Like, she could have really been having out of body experiences, no telling what type of heebie jeebies was on her. Because you ain't gonna convince me ain't no heebie jeebies on Diddy. And furthermore, ain't no heebie jeebies when it comes to this whole freaking court case and what's going on outside of the courthouse. And I'm gonna talk about that in a minute too. No, she was still open to him as late of 2018. How old was Cuff Daddy when he courted Cassie? I feel like 30. I think I want to say he was 30. I feel like I'm hearing 36, 37, and she was 19. I want to say that was around the age difference, but don't quote me on that. And he had videos, his safety or passed out constantly, and Diddy would have you been in a long-term relationship at 17 in 80s raised? I ran away and got forced into trafficking. She's a victim. Oh, okay. Well, one, you're saying some words that I can't even say out loud, Dystonia. Here's the thing. I asked, is she a victim and a villain? Can she be both? That's what I'm asking. So I didn't say she's not a victim. So find me where I said she's not a victim. I said she's a victim. But at the same time, can a victim also be a villain? That's the main conversation tonight. She stayed with him for the bag. Let's be for real. A lot of people are thinking that. A lot of people are thinking that. Some people are saying that that was her plan from the get-go. I've literally seen people, and again, I'm not about to get emotional over this. I can understand how it can trigger certain people or whatever the case may be. But some people are saying that allegedly her ultimate goal was to try to have a baby by Diddy. Because you know he clearly ain't got no problem having kids. The ultimate goal was to try to have a baby by Diddy. And when that didn't happen, another route had to take place. Now, I don't know if that is true or not. But like I said, she's a victim of the industry. That's actually a great way to put it. That's a great way to put it. Because I wouldn't even say if Diddy was the only one who did certain things to her. A lot of the times women like this have a history of men treating them a certain way because they're only seen as currency because of their beauty anyways. They don't think that they have a brain. They don't think that they can do anything but sit there, stand there, and be pretty. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that you can easily say that she's a victim of the industry, even if she wanted the industry badly. You know what I'm saying? Because again, you do have girls who do want the industry until the industry swallows them whole. Honestly, with all of the explicit stuff that went on and what they discussed in that testimony, By the grace of God, I'm very shocked though, but it had to be God's favor. I'm shocked that Cassie has been able to have children. The description and the way they described the stuff that went on, I am very shocked. Okay, because what I was hearing, I I don't even see, like, literally she better be praising God that she was able to come out of this not only with a man who seems to genuinely love her for the right reasons. Now, of course, some people are saying that ain't the case either, but apparently he was around. He was around and saw everything that was going on. But at the end of the day, I don't know how they were making ends meet before all of the settlement money came in. Does anybody know? Because I don't think Cassie was working. Was he working? Because apparently he used to be Cassie's trainer and Diddy's trainer. Let me give an educated guess that maybe after all of this went down and Cassie went with him, that he was no longer a celebrity trainer, because they claim that once you cross Diddy, he will ruin you and destroy you. So who was making money or bringing in money at a certain time? Let's just keep it real. um she was giving herself to him and got played. Pretty privilege went bad, period. Yeah, and pretty privilege can go very badly. That's one thing about it. By being from here, the people that I've known who's been willing to kind of sit down and have those conversations and be really honest, you'll be very shocked that some of the most beautiful women and what they are willing to do to be in that lifestyle, or the things that they've gone through to be in that lifestyle. You'll be very shocked. You will be very shocked. She was an adult. Stop making adults kids. America is the only nation that does this. She was 21, too old for her. And where was her parents? For some reason, I've heard about Cassie's mother. I've heard about Cassie's brother, but I have not heard about Cassie's father. Does anybody know if her father's around? Ryan Leslie gets the last laugh. I don't know. Because I remember Ryan Leslie at one point was kind of out there and was an industry guy. I don't know, has he still been able to have a successful career, or did Diddy allegedly do something about his career too? She was even manipulated to skip, like, to ensure. Yes, I heard that when she apparently said on a text message that she's going to skip this cycle. And I was like, skip your cycle? Like, it was that serious where you did things to skip your cycle so you could have a freak off? I think she was 19 at the time when she first met Diddy. I want to say she was 19. I want to say that's when they started dating, but maybe she met him at 19 and then ended up starting to date him when she was 21. Very young still, though, for a guy who was allegedly in his mid 30s, maybe even early 40s. She was aware of her situation. Look, at this point, especially so, because the thing is, the defense is doing their job, but there's just certain things that you can't deny that they said that she even admitted to. You know what I'm saying? She even admitted to it. And then there were things that she did not want to admit to, and they caught her up in it. They caught her up in it because she kind of tried to downplay, I think, the Ryan Leslie situation. They was just like, ma'am, you got his name tattooed on you. What are you talking about? And then she kind of downplayed the Intercontinental Hotel settlement situation. And I think even denied that she didn't have any other settlements. And they was like, you didn't have no other settlements? What about the Intercontinental? And I guess she was trying to say, oh, it's because I haven't gotten that money. You haven't gotten it yet. But if the courts ruled in your favor or whatever, that is money potentially that's coming your way. Apple stock, he's in her. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Cassie, Lord girl, may you live in peace either way. This ain't normal-ish. Yeah. It's not normal. It's not normal. It's wicked. It's dark. Didn't I say a couple of days ago, a demonic energy, a demonic agenda? And put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys have been watching what's been going on outside of the court house. So, like, Of course, you can't see what's going on inside, but a lot of the journalists and like the content creators and stuff, they've been chilling outside of the court. Put a one in the chat if you guys have been seeing the outside footage outside of the courthouse, like right in front of it. Put a one in the chat and let me know, because I'm about to get into some things that I'm just like, I'm telling y'all, this is some dark energy. And I'm like, who is putting some heebie jeebies? Somebody doing some wicked cooking. Music is just a hobby for Ryan, really. Cassie named her first kid after Diddy. What you mean she named her first kid after Diddy? They're out there. Why? So look, let me tell y'all something. I've talked about this before, and I talked about the dark energy and the good versus evil. And New York, definitely, in any major city, you're going to have sometimes your most interesting folks walking down the street who may be yelling. But again, as someone who used to live there, as you may see it ever so often, but believe it or not, you don't see, you know what I'm saying, like wicked and crazy consistently in New York. Like you just don't, especially New York this day and age. We ain't talking about back in the day when it was lawless going on. We're talking about currently. I don't know if you guys been watching. I see some of you guys have. Have y'all been noticing a lot of crazies and a lot of people cussing and fussing and screaming at the top of their lungs and going off on each other, or like randomly screaming at, like apparently Tisa Tails got cussed out at, the piece of shit from Fresh and Fit. You know what I'm saying? A woman, rightfully so, a black woman went off on him. But when I tell you, it has been chaos outside of that courthouse. When I tell you it is crazy, I'm like, this is not just, it just almost seems like there is a conjuring of spirits going on and evilness going on that is bringing a lot of those crazies and wickeds to the courthouse. I ain't seen nothing like it. I can go to anybody's live that I've gone to when they've been outside of that courthouse, and randomly, while they trying to break stuff down, you just randomly hear somebody screaming out, cussing people out. You got one guy who was literally on a live feed, on a couple of people's live feeds, talking about that he's the second coming of Jesus, or he's Jesus returned. When I tell you, I'm like, what in the hell is going on here? This is some crazy stuff. This is crazy. Now, could you say that people out there, because they want attention from the media? Yeah, I guess you can, but it's coming off like people trying to fight folks, like people just going off randomly on someone. It's insane. It's insane. Well, I'm just like, I feel like somebody sat up there and started doing some witchcraft or some type of nonsense out there, and it's you can see it, you can hear it. It's like this is crazy. Even actual like national news segments, they're trying to do their actual like journalistic, giving the breakdown as far as the courthouse and what was actually said in testimony. Then all of a sudden you hear some craziness going on in the background, and then they have to stop recording because they've been interrupted and they have to start again. The portals of darkness have opened. You better say that again, TTT. See, people ain't understanding. I said this a couple days ago. It is some dark demonic energy. It is good versus evil. And literally, it's almost like people who literally, again, have open portals, open gates for that darkness to come in. Is there. It's there, which is why I said Cassie don't realize probably some of the stuff that she said, because she wasn't in her right state of mind. I wouldn't be shocked if she done been possessed a couple of times during them freak offs. You gotta be, when you just going nonstop like that for days and days at a time. You gotta be. Let's not forget, I don't care how many times Diddy trying to so-called open up the Bible in the courthouse. If anybody believe that man is a Christian, not saying he can't change his life, but I find it interesting that you in this hellhole situation, now you want to so-called read the Bible. Meanwhile, apparently, rumor has it, I don't know how true it is, but he has some type of deity on his back. A deity on his back. Somebody can verify that apparently he has this big old tattoo on his back that's this deity that is supposed to be something that definitely is not Bible, like biblical. So who you representing, sir? Who you representing? Yeah, apparently he has some type of, let me look it up. He has this tattoo. He has this tattoo, Diddy tattoo on back. He has this tattoo of this lady and this big old freaking portrait, and it says it's a tattoo that is a large mural of Azili Dantor. Azili is a Haitian spirit that is a central character in Haitian voodoo, often associated with motherhood, protection, and womanhood. Now, my thing is this. Believe what you want to believe. Believe what you want to believe. But if you truly are claiming to represent Christian principles and what that Bible represents, those things don't go hand in hand. They don't. They don't. So the fact that he has this deity that apparently is associated with voodoo, oh, yes, Haitian Empress, perfect timing. Did you hear what I just said? Do you know anything? And again, I have friends who are Haitian. Do not assume that everybody who's Haitian practice voodoo. I know that for some reason people have this ignorant mentality that because someone is Haitian, they practice voodoo. But Empress, have you ever heard of what I was just talking about? Maybe you came in late. Let me know if you heard what I said. You sure did. Okay, so what is your take on that? I don't know. And again, I'm not judging you. I don't know what your background is or whatever the case may be, but apparently Diddy is in the courtroom reading his Bible like he into the Bible, but apparently he has that deity that's supposed to represent voodoo on his back. Okay, you say I do not practice, but it is a part of the culture. Okay, is Diddy Haitian? I don't even know if Diddy is of Caribbean descent. I want to say Diddy is a descendant of slaves, foundational Black American. But to me, when you put that on your back, that seems like you truly believe in that. That's a huge mural on his back. I will say that when the news of the tattoo came out, I heard a lot of Haitians say he was cooked. Okay, nuh-uh, Haitian person, don't say that. And you, come with it. What do you mean by him saying he was cooked? I'm about to show y'all this. Do y'all want me to show you the tattoo? Let me show y'all the tattoo. Let me show you. So if he's FBA, then why is he? That's not a part of his culture. You know what I'm saying? That is not a part of his culture. So why would he have that? I'm about to show you guys this. Because it's like, why would you want to even have that on your back if that does not represent your culture? You know what I'm saying? Like, that don't make no sense. At least in my eyes, it don't make no sense. And a lot of people kept saying it was the Virgin Mary. And people was like, that ain't no Virgin Mary. They really thought it was the Virgin Mary. And then people started digging. I guess people who are very, you know what I'm saying, aware of what it is. And they was like, absolutely not. That's not the Virgin Mary. It's nowhere near the Virgin Mary. So let me actually show you guys. I'm going to share the screen so you guys can see it. Because, yeah. Let me share. Do you guys see it? That is the tattoo. That's the tattoo. All my Haitian friends are, but the culture does. You said they're fun? What do you mean by fun? Because say you do not play with, or so as she protects women. Oh, okay. So what you're saying is culturally what she represents, and the fact that he has DV'd and literally done wrong to women. I can't speak on him as far as kids, but allegedly they are saying some minors were involved, allegedly, that he pretty much, that deity is coming to get him type of thing. That's what you're saying? Like how Asian writings on American that don't speak a lick of Chinese, Japanese, nothing. Yeah, break it down, Chris, so it can be forever be broke. Yeah. Yeah. And again, you know what I'm saying? Okay, thank you, Haitian Empress. Again, I have friends that, and I don't know what they believe in and what they represent. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't, like I'm Christian. I have friends who are Muslim. I have friends who, you know what I'm saying, are, they, have their different beliefs. But what I do know is there are just certain things that don't go hand in hand and mix. That's what I do know. And interesting enough, I know that a lot of that stuff has played into popular culture, but one of the main people who told me that you being Christian and practicing certain things don't go hand in hand was my friend who is Haitian. She's Haitian. And she was like, you don't mix the two. You don't mix the two. So, you know what I mean? The devil is the biggest deceiver, pretends to be holy reality. He ain't 100%. Ryder, you better say that again. The devil is a major deceiver. And what I do know is that the devil is all up in this mix. When I tell you that when you look at the courthouse drama, there's always something going on in front of that courthouse every single day. There has been always something going on, some type of dark energy, somebody going off on someone ready to fight someone, literally just randomly people going off, claiming they the second coming, just crazy stuff that has been going on where you're like, are you freaking kidding me right now? Like, are you freaking kidding me right now? Like, this is beyond, you know what I'm saying, the physical at this point. You know what I'm saying? This is beyond the physical. Hey, Shin, you talking about you don't play with your walk? You talking about your Christian walk? Yeah. My friend who's Haitian, I had a couple friends who are Haitian. That's just coming from living on the East Coast for a very long time. They don't play with that either. And they also will tell you in a heart, because see, what people don't understand is the spiritual world is real, and both sides of the spiritual world is real. You know what I'm saying? Both sides of the spiritual world is real. There's a reason why people practice those certain things, because their spiritual side, that things do happen. There is a good spiritual side and an evil spiritual side. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the like on the way in. Okay, I mean, MHT, you're not about to get a reaction out of me on a free Diddy comment or whatever, because people have been doing that on my page. So if you feel like Diddy is innocent, there are people who feel like Diddy is innocent, because what they're saying is that what he's being accused of isn't illegal. You know what I'm saying? And worst case situation, which I think is despicable and is scum of the earth when you put your hands on a woman. But they're saying those situations of the DV, it wouldn't be federal charges. So a lot of people feel like this is a trap situation to trap Diddy. A lot of people feel that way. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people feel that way. So yes, get me in the algorithm, you guys. Like, I don't know what it is, but for whatever reason, I don't know if y'all not finding the like button or y'all just want to listen and y'all hating in at the same time. But the like button is free. I don't ask for super chats. I don't ask for none of that stuff. Just hit the like button, okay? Just hit the like button for me. Danielle, let me know how many likes we got so far in the chat. But yeah, just hit the like button. I see people hitting the hearts. I appreciate it, but that's not the like button. That's just telling me you loving it. But there is a like button that you can hit and press. So please hit the like button. But yeah, so Cassie didn't look good. Cassie didn't look good. Thank you, girl. I appreciate you, Empress. She didn't look good these past 2 days, but I guess we shouldn't be shocked that she didn't look good these past 2 days. She did her part. She did her part. Thank you, Miss T. She did her part as far as, being examined. I don't know if they kind of prepared her for how deep the defense was going to possibly get. I don't even know if the prosecution was prepared for how deep the defense was going to get. But I know, honestly, if I can be raw with y'all and be real with y'all, if I was literally on that jury, hearing what I heard from what I read and heard from people who was in that courtroom, it can easily put doubt. It can easily put doubt, and not doubt that. Thank you, Danielle. That's why I had to bump you up, girl, to delete messages and stuff. But not doubt that because we clearly have seen what we have seen, what he did to her in that hotel, but that maybe, just maybe, she wasn't a victim all the time. Maybe, just maybe, she wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had their ins and outs, like, because that's what they're trying to paint. Both of them had substance issues. Both of them were volatile. Both of them sat up there and was a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs as far as their tempers and stuff were concerned. Now, the reality is, though, it's not going to deny that we know who had the most power in the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know who had the most power in the relationship, and it damn sure wasn't Cassie. So that's why I say she's a victim. Doesn't mean she's 100% innocent in the situation. That's all I'm saying. Cassie's husband talking to the divorce lawyer, according to TMZ. You get the hell up out of here. Are you serious? I'm about to go over there right now. No, 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 no. Does TMZ have an issue with just me going to the website? I hope not. I hope not. Now that would be some big news. I ain't heard nothing like that. Hold on. Okay, Cassie wraps up testimony, new witness call. That was the most updated information at 4:27 p.m. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case. No, I don't think that's the case. You got to find me some more information because I don't think that's the case. Let me actually Google Cassie's husband. He just broke silence. He pretty much said that he was protecting her. And apparently he left out of there because they were trying to say he left out of there because he was mad about the stuff he was hearing, as if he didn't realize or he didn't know what, she was doing. But based off of him and what he said, he was just more disturbed, you know what I'm saying, by, the fact that she did go through that, and pretty much is saying that he's going to protect her by any means necessary. So, I'm just hoping he's really genuine. You know what I'm saying? I am really hoping that he is really genuine, and he didn't see an opportunity to sit up there and say, you've gone through all of this, you can definitely be set up for life type of thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping that, he's there. He seems, based on what he's saying, he's genuine, but, we'll have to see. She recruited others, so either it wasn't that bad. And again, based on what they claim Young Miami was allegedly doing, remember, Young Miami is a younger version of the Cassies. It's just like, it's kind of like a rotation type of thing. Cassie got older, Cassie left, all of the women that he's had. So, and they claim Young Miami allegedly did the same thing. So that's why I said, can you be a villain and a victim at the same time? And there's nothing wrong with saying that. Can you be both? Because if you were a victim, but at the same time recruiting, you're both, right? That's just like, what I'm saying, a working girl on the street. She's a victim, but at the same time, she has no problem bringing others in so they can also be a victim. Would that not be a villain too? Okay, someone is saying that Diddy's of Haitian descent. He better, she rich now. Yeah, she got her money. That's for sure. I know some people in his entourage were Haitian, but not Diddy. Okay, so some saying he is, some saying he's not. He on Steve Harvey's head. He's okay. I'm gonna assume yes. So let me do that. I'm just gonna delete this little comment right here because that to me is just pointless. Sorry. And if you really serious and you want to have some serious dialogue, then by all means, you know. Okay, so now you talking. Okay, hurt people, but it was all consensual. Got it. Okay, so look, and let me see what the poll is saying. 138 votes. I got 138 votes, you guys. And it says, can Cassie be a victim and a villain at the same time? 69% of you guys are saying yes. 31% is saying no. You know what I'm saying? 31. So let me do this then. Let me do this. Because the ones who are saying no, I am trying to figure out if you're saying no, she's either a victim or a villain. I need to know. Is Cassie a victim or villain? Then I will actually know what some of y'all are thinking who was saying no. Is Cassie a victim or villain? Victim, villain. Then I can see what you guys are saying. Because after this testimony, I definitely need to know at this point. After this testimony, I need to know. I really need to know. Because this testimony probably shocked the hell out of a lot of people, including my freaking self. Okay, so what y'all got to say about that? But yeah, it shocked me. It shocked me. What is the reason why they're after that man? But what kind of star is he? Does he sing? Oh, Elizabeth, are you talking about Diddy? Are you talking about Diddy? Let me know. Let me know if you're talking about Diddy, Elizabeth. And welcome. Make sure you hit the like button. So yeah, if you're talking about Diddy, what kind of star is he? Look, I always said Diddy wasn't talented. He was talented in knowing how to market himself. That's what his talent was. His talent was to market himself. He was able to take old songs that actually musicians produced and was able to make these little kind of like catchy little beats or whatever. But to me, his major talent, if anything, was knowing how to stay relevant and market himself. Diddy, to me, was never a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I guess I can give it to him that he could dance. You know what I'm saying? But he knew how to market himself. It's always been about Diddy. Even when he had the artists that he always had to be in the videos. Always had to be out there dancing. You know who said that, right? 32 likes. I need at least 50 likes, you guys. Please get the likes up. I need 50. If we got 100 people in there, we should have 100 likes. But I need those likes up. Okay, so let's see. I think she's both. Yes, she's both. A lot of people are saying that. Okay, so we got 12 people right now who's done the vote. More people are saying she's a victim. We'll see as time goes on what people are saying. I'm going to say something that is unpopular, but I do find that Cassie played a heavy hand in her own demise. But I am not referring to the DV and SA that she was victimized. Yes. For someone to say that she was not a victim after seeing that video and seeing the details of the certain incidents that happened to her. Okay. One thing that can't nobody say, as arrogant as Diddy is, and the way that he likes to hog money, you've heard these stories for years about people's publishing and how he has no problem taking someone else's piggy bank, allegedly. He's a tightwad. He spends the money the way he wants to spend it. You mean to tell me, as arrogant as he comes off, as much as a bully as they allege that he is, this man was just willing to give her $20 million if there was no victim in this situation at all? If he absolutely did nothing to her where she would be a victim, do you really think he would have gave her $20 million? No, not at all. And before you could blink, he gave her that $20 million. It wasn't even 24 hours later he dropped that $20 million. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, well, here's the thing. If you don't care, you can leave. Take care. Moving on. So with that, That's one thing about a child. The trolls is gonna troll when it comes to this topic. In the videos, dancing corny and one-liners. Exactly. Suge said that. Fashion line liquor ambassador. Yeah. Yeah. Hello, dog. I'm not gonna say the first word, but hello, dog. Make sure you hit the like button. The thing that always bothered me was that 10 album deal. She too was arrogant. She did not have the talent to carry such a deal. I think that is the part of the preference delusion, as I call it. Yeah, a 10 album deal. A 10. I can't even say that without being like, what the hell? A 10 album deal? She didn't think it would be her. She thought her hot pocket was her currency. She probably thought not only her hot pocket, but that her looks were her currency. The thing is, Cassie is not the only girl with pretty privilege and preference privilege who thinks that way. She's not. You know what I'm saying? She's not. Unless, the sick part about it is, though, you're going to have probably a lot of girls who have that preference pretty privilege who are going to hear all of these details and still think that it's worth it if they can get 20 million from him and 10 million from a hotel. If they will feel like it's worth it if 30 million can come out of it. Now, allegedly, what Cassie said is that if she could give that 20 million back, just to have, I think she said something like if she could give it back just to have peace or something like that, she would. I don't know. Y'all let me know if y'all believe when she said that. She is no Whitney. Come on. Oh, girl, ain't nobody Whitney but Whitney. That's why she was the voice. Ain't nobody Whitney. But to me, she couldn't even carry a note. For me, she could not. When she was on freaking 106 in Park and doing that, what was that song? Think I'm gonna make a move, whatever that song was. Child, I thought she was flat. I was like, what am I watching here? What am I watching? They was talking about that performance. I remember when she came on 106 in Park and did that performance, everybody was talking about her the next day. Like that was the most underwhelming performance I've ever seen in my life. They talked about her bad. Who is she? Did he bring her up? Okay, so Elizabeth I guess, is not familiar of what's going on in this culture. So Elizabeth, let me give you a breakdown. Do you know who P. Diddy is? His name is Sean Puff Daddy Combs. He actually was at one point a record label intern that turned into a record label exec, A&R, and then he ended up getting his own record label, and he's produced acts like Biggie Smalls. He even produced for Mary J. Blige. He produced for Jodeci. He produced for a lot of the urban acts back in the early 90s, mid 90s. And then all of a sudden, all of his artists either started disappearing, becoming unalived, or complaining about they wasn't getting paid. And then the next thing you know, it became all about the Diddy show. Diddy became the artist. At one point, he was actually producing the artist, and you would see him dancing in the videos, but then he decided to become the artist and become the star. And then that's when this whole branding came about, with him doing reality shows and getting into acting and having all of these brands. Like I said, he is the master of marketing himself. He's the master of it. She'll never have peace. Her baby daddy looks defeated. I hope she was transparent before now. A lot of people are thinking she didn't go into detail, and some of that detail that was very explicit, that was the first time the husband heard about it, which is why they claim that he left the courthouse. I don't know if he left it because he was just completely shocked about some of the things he heard because she didn't tell him, or he was just so shocked that his wife got treated that way. It could be one or the other. He just could not process her being treated that way. That is why when they called us singer Cassie, I was like, who? Every time I think I know a Cassie song, I'm singing the other girl, A. Marie or something. Yeah, she only had one song. She only had one song. Cassie is known for being Diddy's arm piece, aka girl, I guess. So when it all boils down to it, she really didn't get the career that I think she thought she was going to get. So really now her career, which is sad, But her career now is being Diddy's victim. Her name will forever be attached to Diddy. Forever. You're going to see Cassie Ventura, and probably the next word is going to be Diddy after that. You know what I'm saying? Who's close to French Montana, Diddy or Cassie? Yeah, because let me see. Did anyone hear about that? She got a song called Long Way to Go, which is relevant in this case. Who? Cassie? Child, I didn't even know. Did Cassie even drop an album, or was it just that single? And I'm not throwing shade. I'm being honest. Did she drop an album, or was it just she dropped a single or two? Oh, French. Well, yeah, a lot of people are hiding right now. A lot of people are hiding right now. But again, most of the people that these people meet in the industry, they're not friends, they're transactional. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially industry stuff. You have a lot of people always claim, oh, that's my friend, that's my guy, that's my girl. Everybody claim they a friend to everybody, but a friend to everyone is a friend to no one. But I really want to know if Cassie and Lauren London still talk. I really want to know. He helped people and they turned on him. Unalive means they're no longer here on this earth, but I can't say the D word. That's what that is. And produce means like a record producer. That's what that means. I doubt it was the first time he heard it, because it would have been too much of a risk for her to reveal this in open court. I think it would have been a deal breaker. Yeah, but here's the problem, Haitian Empress. What if she genuinely didn't remember some of that stuff because she was just so high and out of her mind she don't remember some of that stuff? That's possible too. You know what I'm saying? That's possible too. She may be like, I don't remember that because I don't even remember after a certain amount of time. She may have certain memory where she can remember certain things, and then other things where she doesn't remember. You know what I'm saying? So, don't take any golden showers. Oh my gosh. And you know what's so crazy is that they compared Diddy to R. Kelly. I want to say the prosecution actually started off the opening statement with comparing him to R. Kelly in some kind of way. And this is very, very similar, because they did talk about golden showers also in this freaking case. Like, seriously. But it really ain't listen if it makes sense. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you guys, let me see. Okay. So again, 60% saying she's victim, 40% is saying that she's villain. So hey, because I'm definitely want to know what y'all mindset is about this situation, because whew, after this, I'm shocked she didn't go into labor the way they was coming at her. I was like, she is about to have this baby in this courtroom. She's about to have this baby, because the way the way that they was coming at her, and I'm not laughing because I'm laughing at the fact that they came at her that way, you guys. I'm laughing. It's an uncomfortable laugh, because I can't even imagine, already having an uncomfortable situation of having to come on the stand and be right in front of this guy that you went through hell with and back for like the past decade or so, and then literally have his defense attorneys, one who is a SA victim allegedly, pretty much playing the game with you to pretty much protect her client. Thank you, Ava. Is it Ava too? Thank you so much. Thank you. But I'm sure as calm as they said that she wasn't calm on the inside. She was not calm on the inside. She probably literally had a moment after she left. But what's crazy is that even through all of that, she was able to get her happily ever after, from what we know. She was able to get her happy ever after. Now, let me ask y'all this though. Let me ask y'all this. And I'm going to just say it. I'm going to put it out there. Did Cassie sign a prenup or get some type of prenup when she married her husband? Let's have an open conversation about that. Did Cassie get any type of prenup? Because when they were together and they got married, she apparently didn't have nothing and they was living at a relative's house allegedly. Now she 20, maybe even $30 million richer. Did she get a prenup? I am hoping and praying this man is there for the right reasons. That's all I'm going to say. Because we are not going to pretend that women like Cassie kind of have a target on their back and they end up attracting more of those type of men. Some are just more subtle than others. So she 30 million deep. 30 million deep. What has she done with the 1 million allowance a year? Wasn't she with Diddy for 10 years or more? Was she getting 1 million a year from him? Was she? He must have had some money when she married. I don't know. Some were saying she was still getting money, hush money allegedly from Diddy. Some are saying she wasn't. Some are saying that's the reason why she did what she did, so she could be comfortable and be okay. I don't know. I don't know. In a perfect world, in a world of morals and integrity, hopefully she did everything for the right reasons, because remember when Diddy went on the BET Awards for his Lifetime Achievement Award and he said, and for Cassie for holding me down, a lot of people thought that he kind of implied that as a threat. And that's when action went into play about making sure things publicly were put out there so that he would never come at her again. You know what I'm saying? But what I do know is that money that she did receive should be strictly her money and her money alone. And what she decides to do with it and to take care of her kids. But again, and where does Cassie and her husband live? What state do they live in? Does anybody know? Please don't tell me California. I hope it ain't California. And if she in California, I hope there's a prenup. You never know with these new age diva kings living off alimony, right? Because there are some men who like to play the long game too, who don't want to work, who sit up there and live off of women. We're not going to pretend like that doesn't happen either. We're not going to pretend. So make sure the poll is still up, you guys. Answer the poll. Answer the poll. Is Cassie a victim or villain? Is Cassie a victim or villain? Is she a victim or a villain? Make sure you click it. Stay alive, and I believe in that man. You never know exactly. So yeah. So is Cassie a victim or villain? I know one thing. I was looking like, ooh, girl. You sound like your average industry girl out here. The way that they was putting it out there, that's the way they was putting it out there. Like, oh, you sound like your average industry girl. Now, of course, I know just because if there's was substances involved, this girl, like I said, she probably don't remember half of the stuff that she did. She probably don't. You know what I'm saying? She probably doesn't. A post-nup at the time of settlement may have been suggested by her lawyer. I hope so. I hope so. And I hope she took, you know what I'm saying, that advice. You know what I'm saying? I hope she took that advice, because if they live in California, this is the half state. This is the half state. You better have all your contracts signed and tight. But yeah, you guys, a lot of things. Cassie definitely did not look good when the defense came through, and we knew that was probably going to happen. Her BFF, Lauren London, is nowhere to be seen or heard about as far as this situation, and probably because She wants to make sure she stay out of it because she doesn't want to play any side, because she is trying to make sure that if she decides to still have a career, she can have one, or she doesn't want to get involved because she possibly knows a lot and possibly is a villain, maybe, possibly as well. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Because we do know her and Diddy were tight. And we do know that she talked about the passing of Nipsey and how Diddy was the one who called her saying she needed to go to that funeral. We clearly know by then Cassie was definitely being DV'd and SA'd. We knew that stuff by then, based off of the records and everything. And Lauren London was around. So, yeah. Some Dusties are calling for her to be charged as an accomplice. She got immunity. That ain't about to happen. Oh, you trust and believe before she took that stand, that was definitely on the table that she was going to get immunity. No way. No way. So whatever she say at this point, she's protected. She's protected. I'm shocked though with the money that he gave her that she would be even allowed to testify. But I guess when it comes to the feds, it don't matter how much. If crimes are committed, crimes are committed. I'm about to start dragging y'all out of the bushes by yes, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. But yeah, you guys, I definitely feel like she can be both. I always said that she was a victim. I just didn't know how deep it got with how much she was getting around. You know what I'm saying? She was getting, apparently she was getting around. You know what I'm saying? And then Michael B. Jordan came up. She has gotten around. You know what I'm saying? Like this seems to be like the new way of getting a career, being an industry chick. That girl, Ryan Leslie, Diddy, Kid Cudi, allegedly Michael B. Jordan. Who else? And don't come up in here talking about I'm slut shaming and all of this shit. Man, go to hell with that shit. At the end of the freaking day, I'm just saying, her career seemed to be this. And at a certain point, she realized she had to get up out of it because she was just in too deep. You know what I'm saying? But it seems like at one point, especially in the beginning of it, she was doing her thing. At least the way she was able to still control it. At a certain point, I felt like when she felt like it was out of her control, it was like she gotta go. I have to catch up on much of the details about anything about Kim Porter. Not really, besides they said that they called her out saying she was jealous of Kim Porter. That she was jealous of her. You gotta run your block too. I ain't never been around the blocks like that. Now, one thing I will say is I am very grateful, though, that when I was growing up, there was no social media around. But I ain't never been around the block like that. My Hot Pocket has not been distributed like that. Okay? All right? No, not over here. But yeah, we all have a past. But yeah, that situation, though, but again, she got to put all of that stuff up there. If you're willing to take the stand, then that means you willing to also have the defense come for you and your character too, because you're coming for their client's character. That's just the way it is. I'm not surprised Mary J. Blige with his, you talking about, I thought you said Mary J. I'm looking at it as MJB, child. My eyes is tired. Michael B. Jordan with his chipmunk looking self would be taken. Now, interesting enough, Haitian Empress, did you hear that video of Michael B. Jordan saying that he's a babaloo? Did y'all hear about that? And for people who understand that culture, they know what a babaloo is. Did you hear that? Michael B. Jordan said really quick in an interview that he's a babaloo. I am not surprised. And Kim Porter element will always make me take a pause. Of course, it's taking everybody a pause. But apparently, I've actually spoken to someone who actually knew Kim Porter very close. I want to say even was a family member to Kim Porter, and they still saying some stuff is about to be exposed. Now I can't wait for that moment, but apparently some stuff is about to be exposed even more so. I don't know if it's gonna come out during this trial, possibly. Especially if Al B. Shore takes the stand, because remember in one of those documentaries, he stopped because he said that he didn't want to say too much because some of it would actually be seen as evidence. Babalu, y'all want me to don't I will share the screen. He literally says, matter of fact, I don't know if I can share it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it for you. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to play it for you. Michael B. Jordan, he actually says it. Okay, so I'm gonna play. Ready? So hopefully you guys know his voice, because I ain't trying to play no one's video and then they be like, copyright, copyright.
Michael B. Jordan, the B stands for Bakari, which means of noble promise.
Correct. You know your stuff.
All right. Who gave you that name, and how do you think it shaped the man you are today?
I'm a Babalawo, and my mom, when I was born,
Did you hear that?
Name,
He said, I'm a Babalawo. Let me repeat it again.
Correct. You know your stuff.
All right. Who gave you that name, and how do you think it shaped the man you are today?
I'm a Babalawo, and my mom.
Y'all heard that? I'm a Babalawo. Y'all look up Babalawo now. From my understanding, the way that it's spelled is Babalawo. Yes, get the likes up, please. Thank you, Informed Rev. Yes. Well, look, you already know, Haitian Empress, I butcher names. So thank you. Haitian Empress. See what Haitian Empress just said. It's what is it? A high priest. It's a high priest in what? In what religion? He literally just said it. In what religion? In what is a high priest in what? Voodoo, right? Voodoo, right? Y'all look it up. And she just spelled it correctly the way that I just spelled it. Look it up. So this is what I'm saying when I say good versus evil in spiritual warfare. Interesting enough, he said that, and his name was brought up in this, and she used to sit up there and date him or dealt with him at some point. Then you have Diddy with the tattoo that he got on his back. You know what I'm saying? She done probably had a lot of stuff. Now, I don't know what her religious background is, but she done probably dealt with a lot of people who do a lot of things. A lot of people who do a lot of things, okay? Let's just put it like that. And again, I am not saying, I say this time and time again, do not assume because we have truly spiritual, God-focused, talented people out there who truly serve God and God only. I feel that they are very talented people who can navigate any industry. It probably takes just a lot of prayer and a lot of fasting and everything else, but I truly feel like God's people can navigate this industry. It just seems like there are a lot of people that navigate in the dark energy for some reason. No, that's a tribe, but they practice a certain, I think the Yoruba religion is Ifa, if I'm not mistaken, is a Yoruba priest or divider of the Ifa system. Okay, yeah, I just said that. And a condemnation of religious practice deeply rooted in Yoruba culture and mythology. They are considered custodians of the Ifa. Yeah. And again, I actually know people who have practiced Ifa. Now, I was very oblivious to what it was. I didn't know what they were doing or what was going on. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, I started learning more and more what it was and what it represents. Again, you can do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? I just know who I serve, and that's it. That's all. But you notice he said that, and he said it pretty fast. Like he was trying to quickly say it just to let someone know that he is a part of it, but at the same time said it fast enough where no one would question what he said. He said it real quick. Because I know if I was interviewing him, he said that really fast, especially if I'm not aware of what that even means. And I damn sure ain't got time to Google it when you said it. I'm just going to nod my head and be like, oh, okay. Not even knowing. You know what I'm saying? So, but again, it's just interesting that she seems to have been around a lot of these people who seem to practice dark entities. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, I say dark entities because based on my religion, you're not supposed to practice none of that. You can't mix it. And from my understanding, even the Muslim tradition, you can't do that. There are other religions besides Christian religion where you're not supposed to mix the two. Now, for those who may be Muslim, you let me know. But yeah, but I just find it interesting. So that's why I say I don't know if necessarily she knew half of the stuff that she was saying. I would not be shocked if there were certain moments that Cassie was doing them freak offs, and when she was around all of that stuff, that at certain points she was possessed. You know what I'm saying? That she was possessed. You can be FBA and be a part of that. The one that I knew who was a part of IFA, she is FBA. Someone can introduce you to it. Some of these celebrities practice that, and they're not of Caribbean descent. They're not, of the Yoruba tribe. That's just what they practice. They practice it. Someone brings them into it and they practice it. So yeah, I think a lot of people think they have to be a part of that, the tribe or whatever the case may be, but a lot of people do practice it, especially for whatever reason in the industry. They're even saying now that Taraji P. Henson is making her way into it, allegedly. Yeah, it's deep. Y'all let me know if y'all want me to really tap into these type of conversations more about good versus evil, or, you know what I'm saying, these type of things. Y'all let me know if y'all want me to talk about that, because I could definitely start adding that to the roster, because it gets deep. Because Taraji just was at the Met Gala, half of the time didn't even really necessarily know. She was trying to find her phone so she can actually make sure she didn't mess up what she was trying to represent or say. But she definitely talked about the Yoruba tribe and stuff like that. But she was like, I don't want to mess this up. Where my phone? And then she starts talking about it, saying that she done found a certain form of peace with it. Hi, Philip from Australia. Nice. I see. Makes sense. Cassie used to laugh at Kim when yes, I heard that. I heard that. And that's why when she said she admitted she was jealous, I'm like, yeah, okay. Which is why when Diddy said what he said about Kim being his soulmate and all of that stuff, and that's when she apparently claimed she was done with him. It's like, were you done because he didn't say that about you? Or were you done because you were nervous that you were allegedly next? Like, what is it about? Taraji trying to get that paper. Yeah, after she broke down about how she's been trying and she ain't getting the money that she getting, I'm sure, because see, again, a lot of times that's how they get you. When you at your lowest or your low and you at your most vulnerable point. That's how they get you. But apparently when she first came into this industry, she said she was Christian. Now she talking about something totally different. And again, if you claim that that's how you find peace, that's how you find peace. That's fine. But again, this is why I say you have people who are just saying they're Christian, but they don't necessarily value and want to live by the Christian principles. And that's also, look, I ain't perfect. Let me tell y'all something. I am not perfect, because there are a lot of things according to the Bible that, baby, I sin. Okay? I sin. You know what I'm saying? So, at the end of the day, but what I try my best to consistently do, what I'm not going to do is praise another God. Because again, that's just my religious beliefs. But again, you do what you do. You know what I'm saying? You do what you do. As long as you ain't trying to affect other people about doing what they do or whatever the case may be. But I just find it interesting that there are people who say that they're Christian when they first come into the industry, and then all of a sudden they're talking about something totally different. It's just very fascinating to me. That preference to Lulu. Cassie would have never left if Diddy didn't move Young Miami in to replace her. Yeah, because Young Miami was willing to do whatever. Just like probably Cassie was willing to do whatever when she was Young Miami's age. All it is just a rotation. And if he was still out there, probably Young Miami would have been replaced, or she still will be doing it. Don't be shocked if in a couple of years Young Miami is writing a book or actually trying to sue him too. I don't know, because at the end of the day, a lot of people are speculating that he may actually get out of this. He may get out of this. Oh my God, did y'all see Misa walk into the courtroom with a walker? Misa, the first baby mama, did you see her walk into the courtroom with a walker? What the hell is going on here? Why is it everybody who be around Diddy end up getting sick or something happen? What is going on here? Misa, how you spell Misa's name? What? How the hell you spell Misa's name? Is it Misa Hint? Okay, there we go. She walking in with a damn walker. What the hell? Do y'all see this? That is insane. Wait, hold on. Let me share it. I'm sorry, you guys. I thought it was being shared. Let me go to it. That is freaking insane. Misa, the first baby mama, who they also allege was DV'd. That's her on a freaking walker, like literally going into the damn courtroom. Now, y'all know, I'm sure y'all done heard. I'm sure y'all have heard that she is allegedly suing Mary J. Blige. Did y'all hear about that? When you talk about everybody surrounding Diddy to a certain extent is losing their mind and possibly crumbling, this is some crazy stuff. Oh, and another thing, I don't know if you guys knew this, but when you see this face, you might know exactly who the heck I am talking about. Hold on. Do y'all remember this dude, Phil Robinson? Y'all remember him from Making a Band, right? He worked with Diddy for years. Y'all remember him, right? Do y'all know he passed away? No longer with us? Did y'all hear about that? Literally, he passed away like about a month or so ago. And I was like, what? I was like, another one of Diddy's people is gone. He apparently passed away from the Big C. And it just randomly came up on freaking social media. And I was like, whoa, I remember him. He apparently knew Diddy for years. Like, apparently he even knew Diddy back in his alleged Howard days when he was going to college. He has passed. It was literally like a month or two ago that he passed with all of this stuff going on. I'm telling y'all, when them dark spirits and stuff, ain't no joke. It came out today that Cassie got 10 million separate. Yes, exactly. They talked about that, where she sat up there and was saying that she didn't get another settlement, and they called her out and says, you didn't get another settlement, you didn't get $10 million from the Intercontinental. She says she technically has not gotten the money, but they was like, well, you still won that settlement. Yes, Phil Robinson, he worked with Diddy. He was on Making the Band a lot. He was on Making a Band. He worked with Diddy for a very long time. He passed away. And it was like, the information was quiet. It popped up on my social media and I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, he passed away. Miami doesn't have the complexion for the protection. You know how the system works. Yes, I do. It came out today. So yeah, yes, I do. But yeah, you guys, it's okay. So now I'm getting more specifics. But you know what's interesting? 58% of y'all out of 26 votes, 58% of y'all are saying she victim. 42% is saying she villain. That is almost That is almost half and half, you guys. And if I can be honest, looking at the comments that people were making when I was looking at live updates and stuff about what people were saying and what the people in the courts were saying, it does look like it's 50-50. You have more and more people sitting up there saying that they feel like Cassie isn't on the up and up. And I mean, they have every right to feel that way, but as far as I see it, she's always going to be a victim because we've seen what we've seen. You know what I'm saying? Inform Red. Oh, see, I hope you liked and subscribe to my channel. You making me want to start doing some more deep dive stuff. You really want to make me start doing some more deep dive stuff because it's interesting. It's interesting. Jaguar Wright, we clearly know we got our thing with Jaguar Wright, but when she started playing out who is still left from Uptown Records and who is not, and the only one that was still around is Albie Shore, and then you have a lot of his artists that are either struggling or gone. You had Craig Mack who's gone, Biggie who's gone, and then now you have Phil Robinson, which was a main part, is gone. I believe there was a guy who was really he worked a lot with Diddy too, if I'm not mistaken. Wasn't his name D Dot? Anybody know the name D Dot? And D Dot. I believe D Dot, if I'm not mistaken, was a producer of some sort. Where is let me see. D Dot producer. He's a producer, rapper. Okay, yeah, he's still I felt like somebody said something happened. Not that he passed, but something happened to D Dot like a couple years ago. But that's what I'm saying. Like, even if you have to be very mindful about also who you're around, and sometimes even people that I love and respect, I gotta love them from a distance because sometimes that energy that they have and what they're doing and what they working on, you don't want that energy to bounce on you. You don't want that energy to bounce on you because that energy can suck the spirit out of you, literally. Herb is still around. You talking about Pierre? I mean, I think he's still around, like alive, yeah, because he was in a couple of those lawsuits, if I'm not mistaken. Bring that good content. Oh, thank you, Inform Red. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. I would just appreciate more people would hit the like button. That all. I just want to hit the like button, please, pretty please. Cassie collecting checks and getting the bag. Let's go, sis. Let's dive in. Look, there's no way in the world that I would be willing to go through all of that for that money. Like, it's just I no. But see, again, I believe in myself enough to where I feel like I have enough talent where eventually, through God's grace, I'm gonna be able to make my own millions. I don't need to be able to do, I don't need to do those type of things because I know the talent and everything that God gave me. So I'll take the long road as long as I have my morals and my integrity and I'm good with God. I'll take the long road and that longevity because that's going to be everlasting versus the short way. And we see where it got Cassie. Yeah, she got $20 million, but at what cost? But at what cost? You know what I'm saying? So, again, you'll be very shocked also, these girls with this pretty privilege and preference privilege, how very insecure they are. Very insecure. Their validation only comes from the men that praise them. You know what I'm saying? We've seen that many times too. Jackie O, the one who passed after having that baby and she ended up having like plastic surgery right after. Beautiful girl, pretty privilege, preference privilege, but they said she was very insecure. You know what I'm saying? Very insecure. So that's why I say I'll take the long road. I'll take the God way. I really will. I will take the guy away in a heartbeat because it's not even worth it. Because I do believe that everybody, and some don't believe this, but I do believe that we all have to meet our maker one day. So you got to be mindful, right? I was 19 once and never wanted a crusty old man. Social media is striking the life out of these young folks. It really is, Shayla. That's why I'm so grateful I grew up when I grew up. Social media didn't really start coming out until by the time I was in college. Yeah. Facebook was creeping up at that time. High school and stuff, baby, you was the shit if you had a freaking flip phone. If your parents or somebody was able to get you a cell phone, you was the shit. They thought you was rich. Definitely didn't have no screens on them phones. So that's why I say, to a certain extent, everybody got a pass. Good thing is, people who grew up with me or earlier than me, they past wasn't recorded. At least I hope it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Some people's past could have been recorded. They could have been doing a Tommy Lee, Pam Grier. Was it Tommy Lee and Pam Grier? No, Pam Grier. What the hell am I talking about? I'm losing my damn mind. What was the damn Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson? There we go. I said Pam Grier, not Queen Sheba. Dang it. Disrespect Miss Pam Grier. But yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you could sit up there and live your life without worried about a phone being out there recording you. You know what I'm saying? So yes, the pagers. Oh my gosh. I knew I was a shit when I had a pager. I knew I was a shit when I had a pager. First had the pager with the little top screen, and then the side screen. You thought you was the shit with the little clip that you can put on your pocket. Yeah. That's my era. That's my era. You know what I'm saying? But this is why I say, to a certain extent, you hope it wasn't recorded, because I'm sure a lot of people thought Freaknik wasn't recorded either. And then here it is, a documentary out there, and people was praying and hoping they wasn't on that Freaknik documentary. I wonder when Diddy started the freak offs. Was it with Cassie or pre-Cassie? You know, Gene Deal claims that he really changed when he made his way out here to LA. I don't know how true it is, but apparently once he got to LA and got hooked on certain substances, he became another person. Let Gene Deal tell it. He doesn't know this Diddy that they're talking about now. I wouldn't put it past him, though, that he was sampling and doing things, before that. It was just more subtle and more hidden when he was in New York, because I think Gene Deal talks about a story that they was in the freaking freaky store and he got some butt plugs. And Gene Deal kind of put it out there loud, like, man, what you getting these for? What is this for? And he was like, can you mind your business while I shop? So I think he's always had some freak in him. It just seems like it was a little bit more subtle. But once he got to LA and I guess started really doing certain things, they claimed that, he wasn't recognizable anymore. I wonder when Diddy started. Yeah, cameras were all over at Freaknik. It was pre-Cassie, agreed. Yeah. I think people thought that they wasn't thinking that it was going to be in a documentary, though, 30 years later. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they thought that. But with that being said, you guys, I just wanted to have a conversation about this where, we got to really talk about this. We have to really talk about, and again, does that mean I think Diddy is innocent? Hell no. I think he's guilty of multiple things. The problem is he guilty of something that is legitimately illegal? But again, we're just in week 1. We have 7 more weeks. You know what I'm saying? We have 7 more weeks. And typically the feds don't lose. Now, we have had situation in hip hop that the feds did lose. Irv Gotti, rest in peace, being one of them. Remember, they went after his label, and even though he won, I would say maybe he lost as far as his career and his momentum and the money, because he spent millions of dollars to get that resolved. He was never really the same again, but he still won against the feds. So it's possible. You know what I'm saying? I love all the aspects of the discussion you cover. You are doing a very, Haitian Empress. I really appreciate that. You guys, You guys, you don't understand sometimes how being a content creator can be extremely hard, and how I be busting my butt and I'm like, why are these views not viewing? I literally had, like I said, one short that claimed that I had a certain amount of views and they dropped it like by 1,000 views. When I tell you, I don't know. Like sometimes I've gotten discouraged. Danielle and a few others know, and they be like, nah, sis, you better keep going. You better keep going. And I'll be like, y'all, when I tell you, like, it's getting hard out here for YouTube content creators when the bigger content creators are complaining. What do you think the little content creators are going through? So that's why I be like, look, just hit the like button. By the grace of God, I got a career that pays the bills. I like to do this because I like to engage and I want to create community. But at the same time, we do this also because, you know, we can provide or get opportunities off of it. But at the same time, child, it's hard out here for a CC. Glad I caught the line screen. Great conversation. Consider yourself a niche creator in this moment, but you will shine. I appreciate it. Informed Rev, Haitian Empress, Danielle, Veronica, all of you guys. I think, you know, I tell you guys, but you guys don't realize how much I appreciate you guys being there, you know, hitting the like button and just showing support. That honestly is what keeps me going, and conversations like this, you know, honest conversations where we can have a healthy conversation. I appreciate it. Yes, man, we need our growth to grow. Yes, thank you for contributing. Yes, Inform Red, thank you so much. But yeah, you guys, hopefully what I plan to do is do a live once a week after the week is over for the Diddy week or Diddy trial, and just do a recap. What we do know is at the end of this freaking week, Cassie got exposed. I don't know a good way to put it. She got exposed for not being as innocent as she was claiming that possibly she was. But I don't necessarily know if she was trying to say that she was innocent, or the powers that be that are around supporting her was making her seem that way so she can have more leverage with money and opportunities. I don't know. But what I do know is that she definitely was a willing participant in a lot of ways. And that includes things that she was able to control. So you can't say that you was doing freak offs when you left Ryan Leslie for Diddy and allegedly cheated on Ryan Leslie for Diddy, and apparently cheated on other people for Diddy and X, Y, and Z. So some of this stuff, we can't say the substances. Cassie had free will to do what she wanted to do in the situation, and she did it. But does that give Diddy any right to DV her or SA her? Hell no. Hell no. So, but with that being said, I'm hoping what she does do is get her faith in check, and that maybe out of all of this, she found God and she truly is trying to live more of a righteous, healthier mentally and physically. Like she's trying to go down that path. And once this trial is over, she can truly, hopefully, leave it behind and focus on God and family, because that's the most important things right there. God and family, right? But with that being said, you guys, thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys so much for participating in the polls. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the likety like button. Several things can be true. Exactly. That's why I say two truths can coexist. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. And unfortunately, we live in that society where people feel like if you say she's both the victim and the villain, that you are a negative person or you're a hater. No, she could be both. It's absolutely possible she can be both. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. But with that being said, you guys, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for listening. And I will see you on my next video. Toodles.